Hey everyone, Colin once again. And it's that time of the year where I do my series of videos towards the end of 2017. So, um, first off, we're doing is the list of this year's biggest box office bombs. All the big, small, medium-sized films budgeted films that bombed badly in the year 2017. So let's get right down to it. And I have my list right over here on my other computer right here. So that way I can keep track. Because whatever I do throughout the whole year, I always can make a list of films that bombed and like in the order when they were released, and so that's why I usually do every single year. Plus, it's a hobby of mine as well. So I got the list right here. So let's get down to it. The box office bombs of 2017. So let's get right down to it. So first up is the first biggest box office flop already out the gate of 2017, and that is which I have right here. Monster Trucks. So yeah, this film already out the gate of the beginning of start of 2017 is the first huge flop of this year. For some reason, this film cost 125 million, which I didn't see the 125 million. Maybe 90 million or something, but this cost 125 million. And it got put. The release date was supposed to come out in the summer of 2016, but it got pushed back to January. And I've said time and time again, January, don't release big budget films in January because it's always a bad month for those type of films, and they don't do well at all. Here's another prime example, you know. So yeah, Monster Trucks. Domestically, made 33 million. Worldwide, 64 million. So it didn't do diddly shit in at all. Like I said, January has claimed another victim, and that's the first biggest flop already out the gate for year 2017. So, I mean, to me, I don't think it's not that good of a movie, and I don't think it's not that bad of a movie. I think it's somewhere in the middle, it seemed like a harmless type of monster movie, monster friendly, because it's for kids, and it's made by Nickelodeon. Although I will say though, I'll say it's better than the last Airbender. I can still say that. Anything is better than M Night's Airbender movie. I can still say this film is better than M Night Shyamalan's. So, but yeah, the guy I didn't care for. I didn't care for him since he was in the X-Men films as Havoc. Danny Glover, he's only about less than 5 minutes. He was only about 30 seconds at the beginning until the end of the movie. Rob Lowe, he's in a nothing role as he's supposed to be the main villain, but he's only in small seconds sporadically throughout the film. So it's a waste of Rob Lowe. The CGI is there. I mean, I like the design of the creature of Creech. It's supposed to be like this land squid tentacle type of creature with this massive teeth, and when it screams, it's supposed to like a whole bunch of teeth coming out. But yeah, don't really. I think they should just learn the lesson. Well, they don't though. But don't release big budget films that they'll end up bombing in January. That film right there. Well, that one up right above my thumb. The Relic, that bombed. That came out in January. That bombed. And same with this one. Two of the favorite creature features of films of mine. Right up there, if you can see. The Relic right there. And Deep Rising right there. They came out in January and they both bombed. Didn't deserve it though. But this is me though. But yeah. Monster Trucks. First big flop of this year. Next is a film that starred Jamie Foxx, which I've not seen, called Sleepless. He plays a cop, and I think it's a revenge story. He goes after someone about I think it was either his kid or something. I haven't seen it, but on a budget of 30 million, domestically made 20, and worldwide made 28, so didn't do well. But so that's another flop for film, especially for a film like Jamie Foxx. And I like Jamie Foxx, but haven't seen it, so I don't know if it's good or bad or not. So, but it didn't do well. Next is a film that stars Matthew McConaughey, which I have not seen though, but I will give it a look sometime because I like him as an actor. It's a film called Gold. It's supposed to be like some kind of a comedy adventure film, I think. think that for when I saw a trailer or clip where they had involved like a tiger or something, I forget. But only it made only money in the United States, about 7 million on a budget of 20 million, so it did flop. But I'll have to give it a look sometime though. But I like Matthew McConaughey, so gold. Next is a drama film called The Space Between Us. Is a this teen kid who his name is Asha Butterfield. He was in Ender's Game. And he played the title of the film's title of the character in the film, Hugo. It's about this kid who like was the first kid being born and raised on the moon in space, and he's never been to Earth, and he falls in love with this teen girl. Gary Oldman's in it, so I guess it was like in charge of the whole thing. And I don't know much more about it though, but the film didn't do well. But about $30 million budget and mainly about the United States 7 million. So I haven't seen it though, but hey, I like Gary Oldman though, but he looked like he couldn't save the movie. Anyway, next, now this is a film that seemed that had a lot of potential to do well with box office and critics though, but it did quite the opposite. Because it's a horror film that's directed by Gore Verbinski, because he directed The Ring from 2003. Probably thought that it was going to be a hit because of that. That film was a hit that he directed, but he directed Mouse Hunt and the first three Pirates films. But this film had, for me, it looked like it was going to have a lot of. I remember seeing the trailers and the marketing. Thought it was going to do well with critical and box office wise, but it didn't. And that is A Cure for Wellness. A Cure for Wellness seemed like I had was supposed to have all this big hype about it, and it's like what if it didn't do well, so all that went to waste. Yeah, a budget of about 40 million domestically, made 8 million worldwide, made 26 million. Yeah, it's a horror film that seemed to have a lot of good potential from the trailers and all that, and nope. So yeah, it was probably a bust to the gut for Gore Verbinski. So I like the Ring remake, but yeah, and I like Mouse Hunt, and what was the stuff that he besides the Pirates films. I forget what other films that he did though, but yeah. Well, I like the first Pirates movie, but the sequels, nah. But yeah, A Cure for Wellness had potential, but it didn't. Next, this is another huge flop. I'm putting this as a huge flop because domestically it didn't do well on a big budget though, but the film's premise, so it was supposed to be aimed at marketing for China. And as the film stars Matt Damon, and it's The Great Wall. I mean, like I said, on a budget of 150 million, well, probably more counting on marketing and stuff, and domestically it made 45 million, but worldwide it made 331 million. But it's probably the help, but like it's probably made it because so they get the money in China, because China usually makes a lot of money. But with takeaway, if it didn't do well, and if it wasn't released in China, it would have been not done well. It was supposed to be why the Great Wall was built, to keep out all these creatures out, and Matt Damon's the like chosen warrior or something. Willem Dafoe has a role in it. Matt Dad saw this. He didn't see it in theater though, but he saw it on TV. It was one of those things that you can watch films that are in theaters on TV, but the quality is not that great though. But it was clear enough for him to watch it. He thought it was all right. I didn't see it though, but I like Matt Damon, but I haven't seen it. But the film didn't do well domestically, so yeah, it may help money overseas, but you can't rely on stuff. Money overseas cannot help. Usually, does not help save the movie. It has to do well domestic wise to break even with it as well. So, especially with the marketing stuff. So, yeah, I'm putting this as a huge flop list to me. It's The Great Wall. So next, this film didn't do diddly squat at all. I have not seen the film. I saw only clips of the trailers or TV spots, but the film didn't do domestically. I'll have on this one didn't do well. It's especially like an action thriller called Collide. It stars the guy who Nicholas Hoult, who played young Beast in the X-Men films. Anthony Hopkins is in it, but Yeah, it looked more like those films, like Taken or um like one of those action films like Taken, right? And for this one to do like a budget 21.5 million, made 2 million domestically and worldwide 4 million. So yeah, this one didn't do diddly shit. I haven't seen it, so it got scattered in reviews, and I haven't bothered seeing it. So yeah, so Collide. Next is an animated film which I saw the trailer and it did not impress me, and for some reason this film cost 60 million, and that is the animated film called Rock Dog. The Luke Wilson is the voice of it, and other supporting ones they have like J.K. Simmons and Sam Elliott, I think. Yeah, for some reason this film cost 60 million. I saw the trailer. It looks silly, and it's supposed to be this dog in some foreign place, and it wants to be a rock star. It gets help from this British cat, and the whole idea is silly. And I'm glad I didn't see this though. So yeah, there's some anime films I don't like, and there a trailer on an upcoming one I ranted on, so you can check that out. You know what I'm talking about on the latest trailer that I ranted on. But yeah, so Rock Dog, I don't know what to say. So I did 9 million in the United States on a budget of 60 million. So yeah, a huge flop this year. Next is a film that was based on a TV show and didn't do well, and it was a film called Chips. From the '70s TV show. It was written, starred, and directed by Dax Shepard, who also stars in it. Michael Pena's in there as well. Budget 25 million, domestically 18 million, over worldwide, made 25 million, but I'm still putting it as a flop of the flop list. It didn't do well. When I noticed that when for a second I saw on the Red Band trailer when Michael Pena is picking up Dax Shepard and when he's butt naked and when he trips Michael Pena's face goes right into Dax Shepard's crotch. Red flag right there. I'm not seeing it. So but yeah, Chips. That's what they did another flop. So next is another film. Now this film was definitely is a big one from the deserved to flop, and I reviewed of this film. I ranted on it. It's definitely one of the worst films I've seen this year, and I have it right here. The Power Rangers movie. Well, Power Rangers. That's what it's called. Yeah, that's a lie right there. First great blockbuster of the year. Sure. That's why on a budget of 100 million, domestically 85 million, worldwide 142. But if you separate the totals, how much it made overseas? About 50, probably 50 some million. That's not great numbers for this film. They thought it was gonna be a big hit because of the title, and this to me, and it was gonna be a big franchise for this, but it failed, and there's still the talks for a sequel. Is it gonna happen or is it not? I don't think it's still not gonna happen, and I don't want to see a series to this because I'll get to that when I do my list of the worst films I've seen this year. So, plus I've already reviewed the film. You can check that out. It's an insult to me as a fan of the original show I grew up watching. You can still see you got the action figures of the monsters right there from the original show. So, yeah, I don't want to discuss why I do my worst. It's definitely one of the worst films I've seen this year. So I'll get to that. So the film deserved to fail. Next is the film Ghost in the Shell, the live action adaptation of the Japanese anime movie, as well as from the manga series. And I know the film probably didn't do well because of the whole controversy of whitewashing, because Scarlett Johansson's playing the robot. Yeah. So but I don't want to get too much into it though. But Ghost in the Shell, on a $110 million budget, made 40 million domestically and worldwide 169 million. But that's not great numbers at all either, like the Power Rangers movie. Yeah, probably the reason why, because of the whole whitewashing thing, which I still say is dumb. As long as the performance is good, though, I don't care if it's about the whitewashing. To me, I said the same thing about of Tilda Swinton being cast as Doctor Strange. The whole whitewashing concept people are making a big deal about is stupid. As long as the performance is good, and I think Tilda Swinton did a great job as the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. That right there. To me, the whole whitewashing doesn't matter. Yeah, because I know they change stuff a lot of characters in comics. They do it all the time, but I don't think it's not that big of a deal. As long as the actress does a good job, and well, probably people didn't like the fact about this one more than Doctor Strange. So yeah, but Ghost in the Shell didn't do well. Next is a film that stars Anne Hathaway. I haven't seen it. It's called Colossal. It's about this giant monster, and I guess like Anthony Hopkins has the power to when she moves, the creature moves the exact same way. It's like imitating her, and I haven't seen it. So made about $3 million, a budget of $15 million. So I haven't seen it, so I can't much into it. So that's another flop, small flop though. But even with a budget of $15 million, still didn't do that well. Next is an animated film. I guess this is the budget, but I'm not sure about. Try to look at where the budget is. I guess this is it. It's a film called Spark: A Space Tale, which Tale is spelled Tail, not Tale. It's about this animated film about monkeys in space, and well, it didn't get a wide release in the United States, and it barely made 200,000 on a budget of I guess of 40 million. I'm not sure if the budget was 40 million, but that is a huge flop right there. I mean, I haven't seen no trailer. I saw the poster of it, and I had no interest in it because chimps in space. I mean, the last thing there was a film called Space Chimps, and that was a shitty animated movie. I hated that one. It seemed like another interpretation of that. Spark a Space Tale, yeah. She get lost in space and never come back. Yeah, that's the budget of 40 million. Didn't do dilly shit at all domestically, so that's another huge flop for this year. Next is another huge flop that came out in April, and they suppose that it bombed because they released it like earlier in the year instead of like in the fall, because usually in the fall season towards the end of the year is where mostly the films are like being nominated for Golden Globes or Oscars. That's where those films are usually released though, but this one it seemed was supposed to be like one of those films, but they released it early in the spring and it was a huge flop. And that was a film called The Promise. It stars Christian Bale, Oscar Isaac, who currently starring as Poe Dameron in the Star Wars film. It's supposed to take place during like a somewhere type of war, I guess, like the genocide war, in some place. I forget the country name. Supposedly like a historic film from back in the day. A budget of 90 million and made only United States 8 million. I haven't seen it, so. But yeah, that's one of the biggest flops on the list for me. So The Promise, yeah. Now this is definitely still when many people are considering one of the biggest flops of this year. It came out in the summer, and I saw the trailer. I had no interest about it, and that is King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. Yeah, I'm sure without a doubt some people are considering this one of the biggest flops of this year, without a doubt. Where the film was originally directed by Guy Ritchie, who did Sherlock Holmes and what was the film? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That was his first film. Yeah, Guy Ritchie, from Sherlock Holmes, and the film. I mean, does anyone care about this big budget film about the legend of King Arthur pulls Excalibur from the sword, and in the film Jude Law is the bad guy, and the guy who started, firstly the lead guy, who I did not care for. I know he's in the show Sons of Anarchy, but I did not care for him in Pacific Rim, so I actually did not care for this guy at all. But the film, it came out right in the middle when Guardians of the Galaxy, well, a week after Guardians of the Galaxy was released, so it didn't do diddly crap at all on a mega budget of 175 million. And well, it originally was supposed to be released in March under the original title Knights of the Round Table, but they changed it. 39 million domestically and a budget worldwide 148 million. So it's another huge flop, and let alone it's another huge flop for Warner Brothers. Like I said before, and again. Warner Brothers is the only studio for me that has like the most flops out of any other studio, more than 20th Century Fox or Universal, especially in the bigger budgeted films as well. And this one it wasn't worth it. I saw the trailer, so I had no interest about it, and especially who does it care about this time and age? Go see a film about King Arthur pulling out Excalibur. I mean, the better that was back in the from the day was a film called Excalibur. Much better movie, and or another fantasy film like Kroll. Around the time like about Excalibur, a fantasy film like that. Excalibur and Kroll looked better than this movie. But yeah, Warner Brothers is another huge flop. Thankfully, with the DC films, to them, they're the ones that saving their companies now. That's what they rely on, the DC films, because at least other films by itself, with their big budget films, they'll be bombed badly and they lose more money. Yeah, King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, one of the biggest flops of this year, without a doubt. Now I'm still right in the middle of this, but I'm putting on in here just in case. Yeah, like it underperformed, like some well, I'll just say Cars 3. I like Cars 3, but I'm putting this like I'm saying it was kind of more of an underperformance. I mean, I would say like on a budget of 175 million, domestically it made 152 worldwide, like 382 million worldwide. I was saying that I think it made less than the first Cars film. I forget. I know made less than the first Cars 2, which Cars 2 made the most money out of the franchise, yes, but I think I like Cars 3 more than the Cars 2. But I was still like putting this on there because I think it was underperformed because this summer has been really crappy, and a lot of, especially for sequels, have been underperforming as well. Well, if you count Despicable Me 3, that is still the top animated movie of this year. So yeah, domestically made less than the previous ones though, but still all those previous films though, but still it is still the top animated film this year. But the summer has been really crappy, and a lot of films have been underperforming than they usually do, and Cars 3 was one of them. So that's why I'm putting it on that list just in case, because otherwise I'm like, should I take it off? Should I not though? But I'm going with my gut, so I'm putting it on there though. I like Cars 3, but yeah, it was, especially for a packed summer, it was like a, let alone an underwhelming summer at the same time. So I'm putting Cars 3 on up there. So next is the comedy film with Will Ferrell, and that is The House. I have not seen The House, and that's another film from Warner Brothers. That was a flop. I haven't seen The House though. It starts Will Ferrell. I guess like they turned their house into a nightclub or something, and I think it opened on the same weekend as Despicable Me 3. Yeah. On a budget of 40 million, domestically it made 25 million, worldwide made 34 million. And I keep it truth. I haven't seen the film, but I had no interest in seeing The House. But yeah, another flop for Warner Brothers. Next is another one of the biggest flops of this year, and that is Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Yeah, I saw the trailer. Visually, it looked good. It does look good, but visual effects cannot save the movie alone, though. It has to do with plot and characters. And Luke Bison, I like the fifth. I enjoy the Fifth Element. Leon the Professional, I like. Lucy, not so much. But I like the Fifth Element. I think it's still the guy's best movie next to The Professional. But it opened the same weekend as Dunkirk and It definitely didn't do well domestically. It made 40 million on its budget. From what I understand, this is like I think Luke Besson put his own money into the movie. For what I thought, for what I read up, on a budget of 177.2 million. Worldwide made 225 million, but if you like I said, break in with marketing and stuff like that, and so with a huge budget of that, it's definitely considered one of the box office flops. But yeah, visually it looked pretty good, but I know the guy. It was the stars the guy who was in Chronicle, and he played Harry Osborn in the Amazing Spider-Man ones with um, Andrew Garfield. I like Chronicle, but not the sequels. Not Amazing Spider-Man, no. But also still co-starred the girl who played the Enchantress from Suicide Squad, which I didn't care for her at all. Clive Owen's in it, and Ethan Hawke had a supporting role. I think I'll remember Rutger Hauer had a small role as well. Where has Rutger Hauer been for all his years? He's only in a small role. I think like in the beginning, and that's it. I think that's the last we see of him. That is another one that Dad saw on the TV where the film was playing in theaters. So, but not that great of a quality though. Still, or usually the ones it's a film that it shows like either the quality is good, but it shows like different foreign subtitles. So, yeah, the City of a Thousand Planets. I suspect this is from the when I first saw the budget. I knew this is a film that's not going to do that well, especially from all the marketing and stuff. Yeah, and especially based on a graphic novel, which I had not heard of though until I first heard this film. So yeah, that's another huge flop for this year. Next is the crime thriller film called Detroit. Directed by Catherine. I think it was directed by Catherine Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker, which I enjoy. The Hurt Locker with Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie. I like The Hurt Locker. That was a good film, and she directed Zero Dark 30, which I have not seen. Well, no, I think I only saw it once. My mistake. I think I saw it once, but I don't remember much about it. And she also directed K-19, The Widowmaker with Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. That bombed badly. But Detroit, it starred John Boyega, who plays Finn from Star Wars. It's supposed to take place like this in the real life events and what happened in Detroit about the whole. I forget what it was. It was like in this one building, and there was the crime taking place. I forget the whole thing though, but it was like a riot or something in this one place. But a budget of 34 million. Only in the United States it made 16 million, so it didn't do well. So moving on. Next is another crappy animated film, which this got a sequel. Which why this film got a sequel in the first place with a crappy title? Well, it's the Nut Job. Yes, the Nut. Yeah, the anime film with a talking squirrel that Will Arnett voices, and it's called The Nut Job 2: Nutty by Nature. So, yeah, why this got a sequel, I have no idea. Because the first one was a hit, that's why. But a budget of 40 million, domestically made 28 million, worldwide 58 million, but that's still not enough. So I'm putting that as the flop list. I didn't care for the first Nutjob movie in the first place. How this got a sequel, I still have no idea. So, then moving on. Next to the film is a drama film that I have not seen. It's a film called Marshall. It stars Chadwick Boseman. And it's supposedly like another real life event film, but made 8 million in the United States. Well, actually, that's another thing. I think it made like up to 9 million on a budget of 12 million. So a $12 million budget, but still reached for it, but it wasn't enough. So it's another flop for this year. So I haven't seen it though, so I can't see it. Judge it, I mean. Next is another. This one I did see, and it's a typical generic film that we've seen all before, and that's a Geostorm. You've seen one disaster film, you've seen them all, like the giant tidal waves and all that stuff. Well, except in the film, they have the space station in space that controls our weather, and which if you watch the film, which something goes haywire, which you find out there's also more to that part. and causing a geostorm, global, like different disasters like tornadoes, hurricanes, or blizzards, freeze blizzards. Gerard Butler's in it. I like Gerard Butler, but he could not save this movie. And Ed Harris and Andy Garcia, and he replays the president. And $120 million budget, and domestically made $33 million. Worldwide, 208. That's still not enough for it's another one made by Warner Brothers. Is another huge flop for Warner Brothers. Oh, and also another thing, besides the DC film, this year it was a huge hit, so they have their saving grace on that part. Also for with Annabelle as well. So horror's been good with Warner Brothers as well, but then they come for all the big budget films that they still have lost. So like King Arthur and this film, yeah, Geostorm. Typical generic, boring disaster film we've seen before like this. Okay, we've seen that before and all that. So, next is this was like a cure for wellness. This supposed to seem like it had a lot of potential to be critical and box office wise, but no. It's based on a novel, and that's the thriller mystery film called The Snowman, with Michael Fassbender. So, yeah, how big my Papa Michael Fassbender has been, and but this one supposedly seemed like had a lot of potential to make a good on critical and box office wise, but no. A budget of $35 million, domestically made $6 million, but worldwide made about 44 million, I think. And it has like about like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, and just yeah, like A Cure for Wellness seemed like it had a lot of potential to win critical and box office wise, but no. I haven't seen it, so but plus I'm not that fan of Michael Fassbender anyway. So The Snowman. Next is a film that is called Only the Brave. It's based on the real life events that happened, I think, in Arizona, the forest fires. I think Josh Brolin has a role, and it opened the same weekend as The Snowman, and domestically about 17 million, I think, or 18. Worldwide about 22 or 23 on a budget of 38 million. So that's another flop. I haven't seen it though, but I'll give it a chance because there's some actors I like about it. And Jeff Bridges, I think, is also in it, and I like Josh Brolin. So Only the Brave. Next is another one called Thank You for Your Service. I'm not sure what this one was about. I think it stars Miles Teller, the kid who played the new Reed Richards in the 2015 Fantastic Four film. I haven't seen it, so I know nothing about it. So, but on a budget of 20 million in the United States, made 9 million. Next is the film that seemed like had a lot of potential because it was written and directed by George Clooney. It stars Matt Damon. That is Suburbicon. It's supposed to be like this dark crime comedy film. But yeah, but a budget of 25 million and made 5 million. I see this would seem like another potential that would be a win hit because George Clooney, and I like George Clooney though. I haven't seen the Leatherheads, the one he directed. But I know I forget there was another film that he directed. I forget though. But Matt Damon and Julianne Moore is in it, as well as Oscar Isaac. Whatever films he starred in has been flopping, and the only thing he's been big is in the Star Wars films. Besides Star Wars, the other films he stars in that flopped. The Promise flopped, and this film flopped. Yeah, Suburbicon. I've seen the trailers to it. I got somewhat intrigued though, but from the numbers and the critical wise, not so much. So, but I'll give it a look. I'll see if it is on the level. Well, I like George Clooney, and he seemed like he did all right directing it though. But I'll have to give it a chance though. Next, that came out at the beginning of this month of December, and that was a comedy film with Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones, and that is Just Getting Started. It got panned. It was panned by critics. It definitely failed. It's definitely a fail. On a budget of 22 million, and it only made about just under 10 million. Well, actually under 6 million. Sorry. So it made like close to 6 million. It opened up at number 10, and I knew it was just another flop. Which, especially with two star powers like Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones, and also Rene Russo's in it, and Joe Pantoliano as well. But it doesn't matter if there's huge stars in the movie, but as long as the film's good or bad, it wouldn't do well. So yeah, just getting started. And then the closing on this one is that was released. One that was it got released on the exact day of Star Wars, and that was the animated film Ferdinand. I gave my thoughts on the trailer. It looked decent enough, and I said that I'm not a fan of John Cena, but it seemed like his voice role is decent. I'm not the biggest. I know I said before he seemed like a nice guy in real life, and a good guy, nice guy in real life though. But his live action films I'm not fan of. I'm not fan of. They suck and he started and have sucked. I not like 12 rounds, The Marine, especially when he's doing ones like the Fred the movie. I know that it's in bad when he's starting in. And I know he's in Daddy's Home too, and he had an appearance at the end of the movie, the first one. I don't know how well he's not on the same level as Dwayne Johnson, definitely. But his voice role as Ferdinand the Bull seemed like the only decent performance he's given. And the film got praised by critics, and he was even nominated for 2 Golden Globes for Best Song and for Best Animated Feature. But when it was supposed to come out like this weekend, the same weekend with Jumanji and all that though. But they put on the exact same day as Star Wars, and night and day. It's definitely which one's the clear winner. Got a huge opening for Star Wars, and didn't do and a Dilly Squad opening for Ferdinand, made 13 million, second place. Yeah, on a budget of 111 million domestically as of right now, about 30 million. Updating it to about close to 60 million. It's not gonna do that well. Even if it makes some money overseas, going over the budget though, it's still not gonna do. It's still not doing that well. I don't know why people release when they release films that are such a big powerhouse franchise like Star Wars, like in 2015. You got the sequel to Alvin the Chipmunks really going against then The Force Awakens, and how will that do? Yeah, it made money overseas though, but not domestically. It didn't. And Ferdinand, I can say Ferdinand. I would say I'd rather watch Ferdinand than any of the Chipmunk sequels. I can definitely say that. Or I'd rather watch Ferdinand than The Rock Dog, or another shitty anime film, which I'll get to when it's one of the worst ones that from and well, I cannot say because I haven't seen it, but from the trailer alone, I can already say that I say I'd rather watch Ferdinand over. So yeah, rather than the book, which I have right here. I did not find the book that I said when I did my trailer, give my thoughts on the trailer of it. But I ordered it. I ordered another one, and I like this hardcover too. I like it. I like the hardcover to it, and it shows the other book. But because I remember growing up, I heard about this when I reading about this though, so I never found the book. So, but yeah, but yeah, John Cena. He seems like it's the only decent performance he's given as of now. The rest of his movies he started have sucked. He's not that great of an actor. He's not on the same level as Dwayne Johnson. Like I said, I have nothing against him in real life. He seemed like a nice guy and all that, which I'll be glad to see him. Happen to meet him though, but he's not that great of an actor. Or just I know like he's like trying though, but he's to me from my personal standpoint he's not. But he did get praise for voicing as Ferdinand, so I'll give it that, though. Simply, it's the only decent performance he's given. So next is, after that, it came out this weekend. 2 films that came out this weekend. First of all, it's another film with Matt Damon that's downsizing. Budget of 68 million. As of right now, it's making 7 million. It's not gonna do well because there's a lot of films that people are going to see, like Star Wars and all that. So no one's gonna see him like shrink down to like this size where the other people are. So yeah, even my brother thought that was like a stupid idea as well. So yeah, downsizing. And last is the comedy with Owen Wilson, Ed Helms, Father Figures. Budget 25 million as of right now is making just under 5 million. Even has like a lot of actors like Glenn Close, J.K. Simmons, Christopher Walken, Big Rames. I forget what the guy was named. His name Terry. He's playing himself. Terry Bradshaw, I think was from football. I forget. My dad knows he is because he watches football, and I know it's Terry something. I forget his name, but he's playing as himself. As much as it has all these good actors in it, but it still didn't do well. Opened at ninth place the same weekend as with Downsizing and Jumanji. Well, Jumanji's a hit right now, so. But yeah, Father Figures. I haven't seen it though. But anyway, that's the complete list of all the films that bombed this year of 2017. It's definitely some big ones. Definitely big ones that I saw coming, like Monster Trucks, King Arthur, and Valerian, Geostorm. Other ones that were smaller flops though, but some of them were bad, looked stupid, silly. Oh, definitely Power Rangers as well. But yeah, that's all the complete list of the films that bombed in 2017. I hope you enjoyed it, and I just wonder what other films are gonna bomb next year in 2018. I just wonder. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next. Is the actors memorial for all the good people that died this year, which are all gonna be missed. Stay tuned for that next. Later.